Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 11 of Shoe Booty Sports. We are going here late on a Tuesday night. This is our Christmas episode, Tuesday,
Jingle
December
bells.
21st. We're at a palindrome as far as the month and the day, 12/21. Coming coming to you recorded from Cabot, Arkansas. And we'll start off by throwing a little shout out to our sponsor, Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series. Visit rhinoraces.com for details. Rhino Races offers 5 different races: a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, and a unique challenge called the Rhino Ultra. 5 different races, do all five, get inducted into the Rhino Races Hall of Fame, and get the gold buckle, custom made buckle. Visit rhinoraces.com for registration and details. Also, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, and maybe more in the future. But right
Oh
now,
yeah.
oh yeah, and of course, see our pretty faces on YouTube anytime. So check out those four. Give us a like, give us a follow, and we'll go from there. But we're gonna get started. A lot's happened since we last spoke this time a week ago.
Oh yeah.
I believe the first thing that happened, we'll just kind of go in order. Urban Meyer gets officially fired on Thursday, December 16th, 13 games into the season. Shad Khan didn't even want him to finish out the season. Meyer won 2 games during that rather chaotic stint as the Jaguars coach. How much of this is on Urban Meyer with the bar behavior? Just the most recent reports of the spat with his assistants, allegedly calling them losers and him being a winner. But how much of this is on Urban? How much of this has to do with early unrealistic expectations? Meyer sent out an apology a few days back, and we'll kind of look into, well, of course, who knows with Urban, but we can at least take a guess at what would be next for him. But how much are we going to say this is on Urban? I think my take, he shot himself in the foot repeatedly during this little 13 game stint with the bar scene, in which you just don't want to see your head coach out there doing. And also the reports with his assistants, who are pro guys, pro assistants. He hired a decent staff from the looks of things, at least as far as taking over this team. But certainly, Urban deserves his share of the blame. I think an equal amount has to do with unrealistic expectations too. I don't know how Shad Khan could expect anybody to come in and take over this train wreck of a franchise, at least as far as the roster goes, and turn it around that quickly. And 2 games is about probably where I saw them being as far as, I mean, even though it's Trevor Lawrence, it's a rookie quarterback on a not good team, and they're sitting at 2-11, at least
Yeah.
as at least as of when this took place. So, what are your thoughts on it, Brad?
I don't know if it's 50-50 right down the middle on the blame. I think it's more on Urban. But yeah, I mean there was some unrealistic expectations. Hell, I think 2 games, that's twice as many games as I thought they were going to win the entire season. I honestly thought they were going to let him play out the season. I think 6 hours after I said that last week, they let him go. So I had that pegged right on the money. But yeah, I would say, yeah, him talking down or whatever to his assistant coaches, and didn't he kick a player? He kicked the kicker and told him to make the kicks, dipshit. Like that's his quote. Yeah, get that guy out of there. But
Yeah, this isn't.
it's almost like he was looking for a way out there towards the end. Like after the whole like bar incident, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I want to go back to college.
Yeah, but what would you what job is he going to take at this point? They're all kind of taken, aren't they? They've all
Yeah.
been locked up, all the big ones at least. So I don't know. Of
I don't know
course,
who would
yeah,
have him now. I mean,
yeah,
who wants a college coach that kicks players?
yeah. It's I mean that's some like uh What was John Voight's coach? What was the name of his character in Varsity Blues? The coach, like
Uh,
Bud Kilmer. Is that
yeah,
it? Yeah, that's some Bud Kilmer stuff, man. Let's go, make those
I
kicks.
don't want your life.
That was pretty good. That was some good Jonathan Moxon right there.
Oh
Do
yeah,
that again. Do that again. That was pretty solid. You can't do it again.
I don't want your life.
Yeah, that was not. That was pretty good. The
No,
first
it's
one was
not
the
gonna win an
best.
award or anything, but yeah.
I don't know. The first one was. I was caught off guard at how good that was. That was pretty good. But yeah, I'm not. I don't know that it's 50-50. I don't know that I'm saying that. But I mean, Urban definitely did it to himself. At the same time, Shad Khan said he's been thinking about firing him for weeks, and the only thing I could think would be because of the the bar incident, the thing with its coaches, but that was fairly recent when that happened with the coaches. Now, granted, you don't want your head coach talking about being accountable and being a leader and then going out and doing that, having college girls grinding on you there at the bar as a married man. Not the best look. So he certainly did it to
No,
himself, but at the same time, for the owner to expect him to come in and turn around just like that, not that he was expecting that, but well, I'm sure he was to an extent. But at the same time, doing it in as chaotic fashion, it, this whole tenure has been a mess. It's been a dumpster fire, and it seems to be getting worse. I don't know what the expect. I mean, I just don't know what the expectations were. Like, what a quiet franchise, like no news, just we just want to see steady progression. I don't know, but it's been a mess on both sides. I think front office and with Urban staff. But Urban did issue an apology. It seemed.
I didn't. I
I'm
didn't
not
read
gonna
it.
say. I'm not gonna say it seemed sincere, but it seemed very Urban Meyer. I don't know how much of that you can take to heart or is just a PR stunt. Probably 98% of it is a PR stunt.
Well,
But so we're not even gonna. I'm not even gonna get into that. But what do we see? What's next for him? Is he going back to? Is he gonna take another college job?
no.
How old's the guy?
Well, I don't know, early 60s or no, late 50s,
Yeah,
58,
so
maybe.
someone will give him a shot if he wants to do it again, because it's just a matter of time before the next coach goes. So, but as far as where he'll end up, I don't have a clue. I could see him going to the I don't even know if I could see him going to the broadcast booth. I mean, it's he's kind of he's stained
Yeah.
that image a little bit
Hmm.
or a lot of bit.
Yeah, a lot of.
But we'll see, Urban. I don't feel sorry for the man. Now, as far as the owner saying he's not going to pay him, I don't know what.
Oh, the just cause. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I don't have really an opinion on that one. I feel like you kind of have to be inside on that to really have an educated opinion on it. Um, you have to be inside to have an educated opinion on a lot of these things, but we're still going to have fun with it.
Doesn't stop us.
It's not going to stop us from chiming in, but I'd probably do it too if I were the owner. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. But
Yeah, they say all publicity is good publicity, but
yeah,
man, I don't know about some of that.
could be some lawyers involved in that. But
Yeah,
good luck with that, Urban. But he's doing okay. I have a feeling he'll get by.
yeah,
But
he'll have plenty of gifts underneath the tree this year. You don't have to worry about him.
yeah, we'll see. Not from the Jags.
Oh, not from the Jags, but
Yeah.
just he's not hurt.
So national sign or early signing day was the early signing period. What started or was last week, the day after our previous podcast. A&M landed the number one recruiting spot. Alabama second, Georgia third. Pretty predictable order at this point. It's always those three kind of back and forth. But Arkansas was what 18th or something like that.
Yeah, I think I seen them at like 16 or 17 at one point.
Yeah, I think
Where was LSU? Were they in the? They were in the top. Were they in the top 8?
I
Top
don't even
7?
know. I just saw the first three and I saw where Arkansas landed. I don't pay too much attention to recruiting. Although the people, the coaches that say things like "I'm not worried about 5 stars" are the ones that can't get 5 stars. So
Yeah.
you can't say that recruiting doesn't matter. It's it's about developing players, but you gotta developing 5 star players usually works out better than as a collective unit than developing 2 and 3 star players. So it's
Say we
worked
get.
out pretty well for Alabama, and A&M has gotten better, just as the years have progressed under Jimbo. This year they had a
Say
lot of injuries,
did,
so
did 2 stars go to college to play football?
probably not to play football. They
I've
may.
not heard of a 2 star recruit.
It's.
I don't
I
think
want.
they're recruit at that point.
I want to say that there was a 2 star on like the
I mean,
old NCAA uh, football games where like you would start, your
like yeah,
your
I could be
player
a
thing.
2 star.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have made 2 star. I'd have gotten like a star, I think.
I'm good for at least a solid star.
And then they'd be like,
Maybe a star and a
"Ooh,
quarter. I mean,
size and what's his 40 time? What does he bench?"
dude,
Yeah.
so fast, so strong. It was off the charts pretty much.
Are we talking about me or you?
Both of us.
Or it's both? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were on a 2-8 football team. We weren't getting a lot of phone calls,
Yeah,
but hey, we dominated those two
that
games.
wasn't us.
Yeah, it's
That
true.
was,
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't our thing or
uh,
fault. I'm not entirely, at least. But so Bo Nix is going to Oregon.
yep.
We'll jump down to
Everybody
the
saw
next
that
college
coming.
thing.
He
Yeah,
wants to go get all that free Nike stuff, man.
I
Why
mean,
not?
they got cool unis.
Wear a different uniform every week.
See, the helmets are getting a little too much as far as the little
Some of them
chrome
look
wing
cool.
or,
Some of
or
them are just way
whatever it
too much.
is. Now, see, I liked it when they still had the O on there, but just the different colors and stuff to go with it. I'm not the big. I mean the wings, I guess, is what it is. The wings are
Mm,
the big canoe paddles or feathers or whatever they are. I don't know what they are, but
I haven't seen that.
yeah, you have. It's like all they
I
wear
don't pay
now.
that much attention to the dang
It's like
jerseys. As
it's
far as
like
I gets the
I'm
helmet,
talking
I'm
about
like,
their helmet.
ooh. Well,
No,
yeah.
I'm talking about the helmet.
I didn't say didn't say I was very observant. I just said I seen them.
Yeah, but it's probably a good move for him. Uh, get who? Yeah, who? I can't. Who did Oregon hire as their head coach? We do our research on
The
Pac-12
guy
football,
from
ladies and gentlemen.
when did the guy from Miami? Or no, he got fired.
No, he left Oregon. He left Oregon to go to Miami.
That's right.
We're gonna change the name of this podcast to two guys that don't know what they're talking about.
It's in the bio. We've got it. We've warned everybody.
It's on there somewhere, but that's true. But it's probably a good move for him getting out of Auburn with unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Just a fan base that thinks they're Alabama, but they're not Alabama. I mean, they're a solid second tier SEC program,
No.
but as far as it's just it's hard to please Auburn football fans. They are kind of what they are. They're going to have that really good year, but then they're going to have a lot of 7 and 8 win seasons, and that just doesn't cut it there. even though that's what they do on a consistent basis for as long as I can remember. Um, like just they just want you to beat Alabama or at least be consistent, and they did.
Yeah,
They almost had them this year. Um,
they should have had them this year.
yeah, they
Get
should
tackle,
have.
just go down in bounds, man.
Yeah, but Bryce Young with a Heisman moment, part of the reason he's there, and why Alabama's the number one seed in the college football playoff. But Bo Nix to Oregon, probably a good call. I don't know what Auburn's going to do at quarterback. I assume they have a good idea, but I wasn't too impressed with the guy they had. I mean, he was all right.
So that's hired their new offensive coordinator, the QB coach for Seattle.
Like the Seahawks.
Yep.
Well,
So
it's not
Russell
Kyle
Wilson had a lot of
Shanahan.
good stuff to say about him, but I mean, we'll see. So,
As Russell Wilson's probably
yeah,
in his last season there.
because Russell
But
Wilson's doing so good this season.
yeah. Well, he's been hurt and
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just a mess. It's kind of a dumpster fire too. So
yeah.
but where's the the Florida quarterback, Emory Jones, entered the transfer portal, which is no surprise. He looked like a running back playing. He just looked like a guy in the Wildcat every play. It's like kind of like Arkansas does with Hornsby back there. You just kind of expect to run.
Yeah.
With
You know it's
Arkansas,
going to
if
be a run.
Hornsby's back there, they're running it. I think he's thrown like one or two passes on purpose. At least it seems like. Statistically, I know that's not right, but that's what it feels like. It's like a run is coming.
I don't even know if he's thrown it, if he threw it twice, man.
I mean, yeah, that could be correct, but it's Florida. Florida should have a quarterback. There's plenty to choose from. I thought maybe Bo Nix would end up there, but I can see him wanting to get out of the SEC altogether and just go. And plus, yeah, you don't want to take a chance on seeing your old team. I think it makes sense to just. I mean, he went about as far away. He went as far away as possible, to from the SEC and still go to a pretty solid program. So I think it's a good move for him. We'll see. What is he? He'll have a year left. He was a junior this year.
Yeah, and he can probably get a bonus season because of the COVID. So he has possibility of 2 seasons, but he shouldn't need more than one before he goes to the NFL.
I mean, do you see him doing much at the next level though?
No, but he all he's going to do is 1 year. You know, he's not going to do 2 years up there.
Yeah,
I just have that feeling. I
yeah,
mean,
I could see that. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Good luck, Bo. At least I don't have to hear
yeah,
true
if
freshman Bo Nix or every
if he
time
plays
you
like, yeah, it depends on what bow they get. If they get the bow that played against Arkansas, everybody watch out,
he lit Arkansas
man.
up. Man.
Yeah, yeah. Best of luck.
Yeah, well, good luck. Yeah, good luck, man. But jumping to pro basketball now, this was a pretty cool one. This was, this is an Arkansas tie for us. Uh, at least two Arkansas natives are on the Lakers roster at the guard spot. Austin Reeves, Northeast Arkansas kid, hit the game-winning three-pointer in overtime versus the Mavericks last Wednesday, December 15th. It was cool to see him kind of get celebrated by the team and LeBron just giving him all kinds of props after the game. This kid is a 23-year-old walk-on from Newark, Arkansas. Attended Cedar Ridge in high school, where he won 3 state championships, including one his senior year. I believe he was player of the year in the state that year too. Uh, Reeves signed with Wichita State after high school. He chose them over South Dakota State and Arkansas State. He was never offered by Mike Anderson at Arkansas, which is a bit of a shame and kind of shows why, at least
Why he's
partially,
not here
why
anymore.
Mike Anderson isn't there anymore. But it's pretty cool. Like the Lakers have a unique connection, just kind of with Reeves, 6'5", now 197-pound guard. He was not that in high school. He was very thin. And Malik Monk, those two kids, both from Northeast Arkansas originally. Monk from Lepanto, little bitty town of Lepanto, and course, Reeves being from Newark. Those two played against each other in the Class 2A final as freshmen in high school, which is one step above the lowest classification in the state. Uh, Cedar Ridge beat East Poinsett County 58-56 in that game, denying East Poinsett County a third consecutive state title. Monk, who was highly regarded coming out of high school, was actually 0-3 in state championship game appearances, losing his junior and senior seasons while at Bentonville. Now, I know that team was not expected to beat North Little Rock as a junior, but as a senior, they were heavily favored against Cabot and came up short, and he did
Yeah.
not play a good game at all. But at least from a shooting point, going over 10 from 3-point range. I was courtside for that game. That was back when I was a reporter, so I know this and remember it very well. But
I do not.
yeah,
But
Reeves
I remember you telling me about it.
yeah, everybody was hyping this guy up like he was Michael Jordan coming out of high school
Yeah.
basketball in Arkansas. And I was just like, well, when's it going to happen? He actually did one thing where he took a kid to the hole, Cabot's best player, just took him to the hole and scored like it was essentially nothing. And I remember just thinking like, why doesn't he just do that every play? He's score. He'll score every time he does that every play. And he just didn't. He just kept relying on this brick shot, just shot after shot, just not falling. But
Building a house.
yeah, he did that night. But Reeves, on the other hand, was 3-0 in state championship games. But both are 23-year-old guards for the Lakers. The two took very different paths after that freshman finals appearance against each other. After high school, Monk went on to become the SEC Player of the Year at Kentucky in 2017, and he did make some big shots that season. I think they made it all the way to the Elite Eight before getting ousted by North Carolina on one of the last plays of the game. He was drafted 11th overall by the Hornets, and many were surprised that he fell that low. I figured that was about where he would land, but Reeves went undrafted out of Oklahoma before signing with the Lakers on August 3rd. Reeves ended his college career at Oklahoma. He was injured throughout his time at Wichita State as a freshman and sophomore. Had both labrums torn. He actually played with a torn labrum on his left side the first 2 seasons of his high school, or the last 2 seasons of his high school career, and had it repaired as a freshman. Then tore his right one as a sophomore, I believe. Yeah, and then had it repaired during that season, and later transferred to Oklahoma, and actually basically finished his time at Oklahoma as an all Big 12 first teamer, averaging 18 a game. But it was pretty cool to and seeing LeBron talk about him. Just I know I rattled off a ton of information at you all, but just to give you
So
a little background on who these people are. Otherwise, you'd be like, "Who is that?" But
so he was on cloud nine after getting props from LeBron, man. Who wouldn't
well,
be?
and he had a cool nickname for him. He just kept calling him AR-15, which I
Pretty
thought was a
good.
little funny just because of LeBron's kind of anti-gun stance, at least as far as things get seem. But it's a cool nickname. I just kept thinking, I was like, man, that's a dope nickname. But anyway, pretty cool to see him celebrated by his teammates. Rookie undrafted guard from Newark, Arkansas. So anyway, and going back to recruiting, Dion Sanders in Jackson State landed arguably the top recruit in the country. Flipped a kid from going to Florida State to Jackson State. Travis Hunter,
Corner.
yeah, corner named Travis Hunter flipped his commitment from Florida State to Jackson State on Wednesday, December 15th, first day of the early signing period. Now he is the first 5-star recruit to sign with an FCS team since ESPN started ranking players in 2006. So what's that? What does that say about Dion as a coach and recruiter? Obviously, as far as a recruiter goes, that's huge.
Oh yeah,
But I mean, how long will Dion stay at Jackson State though? If he's able to do things like that, I mean, before he gets another shot,
I
at a
don't.
bigger school.
I think he's gonna stay there, man. I think he's gotten other shots, man. Like,
Well, his kid's there right now, so that's gonna
yeah,
have a lot to do with it too. And it's not like he needs the money.
no.
So
I mean, looks like he's having a whole lot of fun. Coach Prime. My dad just doesn't get it. He's just, why would they call him Coach Prime? I was like, because it's Deion Sanders. It's
it's
prime
prime
time.
time. It's
I mean,
prime time.
come on.
He's prime.
Come on. He's like, no, call him Coach Sanders. I'm like, no, call him whatever he wants, dude. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I like Coach Prime. It's just gotta.
Yeah, it's going to connect better with the kids. I mean, yeah,
It's a very prime thing. To be called Coach Prime.
yeah. I wonder how much money he's gonna, if it ever comes out, how much this guy's ni or yeah nil deal or NLI deal, whatever name like this image.
Well, NLI is National Letter of Intent. That's not being paid. That's just what you get, when signing
Yeah,
with a school.
yeah.
But as far as that goes, image and likeness, I don't know what it would be, but he's going to light it up at the FCS level.
Oh, dude.
Jackson State at the time he committed was 11-2 on the year, but man, they got smoked by South Carolina State this past Saturday, and it wasn't close. They did not look good at all. I
Er,
caught I caught a large chunk of it, but
I
even
seen
I
a little
tuned
bit of
out.
it.
Yeah, even I tuned out just because it wasn't close. I mean, they were dominated for the vast majority of the game.
No, I just remember a lot of people commenting on his cool scooter. Like,
Yeah, I just like the hashtag coach or the at Coach Prime and hashtag. I think it was at Coach Prime, the little thing on the back of his shirt, but this means at apparently for those watching us on
hashtag.
YouTube. But
Yeah.
I saw an article saying that this is going to be kind of the new trend or one of the not necessarily a trend, but don't be surprised if this happens further. You know, highly ranked recruits just committing to smaller schools. I don't know how much of that'll be the case, but because I think it's a big deal for a lot of these recruits. I mean, coming out of high school, these guys think they're the greatest thing ever anyway. Because I mean, it's
Yep.
all they know, and they've shined wherever they've went. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing because you're going to go to these big places and you're going to be wooed by all these big time schools. And you're like, wow, I want to be. And you see the fans, how they are. When a recruit goes to Alabama and sees what that is like on game day and after a big win, of course, they're going to be like, and you walk through the locker room, you see the trophy cases, you're like, yes, I want to be a part of that. I can see the lure, like I can see, like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. I want to be part of this history. I want to be a part of a championship team, but you better be good too, because if you want to actually be a part of it and get any kind of recognition as being a part of it, you better be the best of the best. So I, I, I guess I can see how some of these kids, it would be attractive to stay the big fish in a smaller pond, more shine on you, more spotlight on you. And the goal is to get paid at the next level anyway. But
Hmm.
but it see that's the thing. It's harder to do that in football than it would be at say college basketball, like Ja Morant going to what was it, Murray State. It's easy to spot somebody like that as okay, this guy's mega talented. He can play at the next level as opposed to just lighting it up at a smaller school. Now it has happened plenty. You see, um, this isn't an FCS school, but I mean, Josh Allen being from Wyoming.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get
Big
noticed.
Ben.
Carson Wentz, yeah, South Dakota State. So yeah, it can happen. So I don't know. Maybe they're onto something. we'll see what happens, but it's a different thing. I was definitely surprised by it, but I don't know. Can it happen more in the future? Only time will tell. But it was a I don't know, seeing them just get mauled though by like 6-5 South Carolina State team, that really kind of put a damper on things. So
Yeah.
they'll turn it around. 11-2 is not bad, but yeah, they did not look good in this last game. But we'll jump to some kind of more interesting stuff from the weekend. We'll jump into boxing, and in this case, partially celebrity boxing. We'll Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley
Fade to
rematch.
sleep.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a knockout. I mean,
Oh,
that was quite the highlight. I did not watch it live, but
no.
I was just hanging out, and I saw on my watch pop up. It was just a tweet from somebody saying Jake Paul knocked Tyron Woodley, you know, the out. So I of course looked it up, and it was a shot. I mean, it was a and it and it was an intended shot. I mean, he acted like he was going to go for the body. Woodley fell right into it, dropped his guard, and he just came up and just put him to sleep.
Yeah.
But Woodley was very respectful of him after the fight, saying you're gonna have to at some point you got to put some respect on this guy's name. So is it time we start taking Jake Paul seriously as a fighter? What's it gonna
No,
take?
hell, he fought. I mean, yeah, he knocked out Woodley, but I mean, Woodley only had what 10 days to prepare for the fight. I mean, it was a
2
last minute
weeks, yeah.
adjustment. I mean,
They said he'd been training, and
well, of
I
course
mean
he's been training
that's the
because
last guy he fought.
he's an ex fighter, but I mean, boxing's different, man. Like
It
I
is.
say, I'll start respecting him whenever he like you know fights a for real boxer, not someone who dabbles in boxing. You know, I want to see him fight a legit boxer like that's in the top 10. Do it. Just do it.
And that's fair because let's face it, let's look at his 4-0 record or whatever it is. It's 4-0, right? Professionally.
4-0,
Uh,
three
I can't
knockouts.
I can't tell you who the first one was. Like I can't remember. Um, Nate Robinson,
Nate
the
Robinson was the
ex
second.
basketball player.
It was some other YouTube guy for the first one. Or no, and then it was Ben Askren. Ben Askren might have been the first one.
I think Ben Askren was the second. Yeah, I believe Ben Askren was the second.
But yeah, that dude didn't know what he's doing. That dude's a wrestler.
Yeah, and was not like in
No.
shape going into that at all. He was coming off of like a hip replacement surgery too, so that's going to make it hard to train. But yeah, he's not a striker. He's not known as being a striker. So it's a fair point to say that.
But yeah,
Um,
he has power. I'll give him that. But I mean, hell,
yeah, I
fight
mean, but
somebody who can dodge it.
I watched the fight, and it was, I mean, it was not an entertaining fight. Like it was just a lot of a lot of grabbing, a lot of tying up. It was sloppy. You know, Jake got a pretty solid headbutt. Now, sometimes just awkward fighters can do that,
I
but
mean, was it Frank Gore who got pushed out of the ring like during the exchange?
I don't know. I did see Darren Williams beat Frank Gore, and I was
Oh yeah,
surprised by that. I thought Frank Gore, like if I had to put
you would
money on
think
it,
so.
I would have put
Yeah,
mine on Frank Gore. Darren Williams looked really different with the blonde hair and all that. Just not the I don't know. Just it looks funny kind of seeing that, but yeah, my money would have been on Frank Gore. But I mean, Frank Gore is 175 years old out there
see, see the
boxing.
shot of him on Twitter, the picture of him on Twitter, like it was just a perfectly timed photo, and he just looked like scared to death,
Like
like
he's
in the
screaming
corner.
like yeah. I did see that. There's been a
He's
lot
just
of
like,
memes about that. Yeah, there's been a lot of memes already about that, which as there should be.
Yeah.
But I was still surprised to see that Darren Williams won that fight. But
Yeah. He said Darren Williams said he's done, but Gore wants a rematch. It's like, oh, yeah, sure you want more money. And
yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't really need it. I mean, he was in the NFL for
30 years, man. Like,
112 or something like that. Yeah, I mean he's third on the all-time rushing list, but he played 147 seasons. So I mean you're gonna do that, and I can understand. He probably, I mean, he had like you know 648 yards a season with the Jets these last 25 years. But I mean, no, not to disrespect Frank Gore. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer as far as I'm concerned. Anytime you can rush for what 13,000 yards or 16,000 yards, like even. Um,
dead
yeah.
even. He got there and kneeled down. It's like, I'm done.
No, I think he got to like 1598, and the statistician was like, "I'm just gonna give him two more, like real quick. Ain't nobody gonna know." Like I think about that when I see like a lot of these, like especially in high school. Like when I
Oh
was a
yeah, I can
reporter,
imagine it being
when I
rounded
was
up.
a reporter, there was this kid at the Class 2A level who, which is the lowest classification in Arkansas high school football. He had, he was like one of like, I don't know, two or three players to rush for 3,000 in one season. 3,000, yeah. And he finished with 3,001. And I remember thinking like, those coaches like just gave him like an extra like 12 or something. They just went down the line and like, oh, what he could be like what the third person ever, second or third ever do three. All right, let's add two here. Like I'm sure that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you end with 3,001 exactly? I just don't buy that. But
Little fishy, yeah.
and I kind of feel that with the Frank Gore and his like dead even 16,000 career yards. But
Is it for real? Dead even 16,000?
I think so. I think yeah. I remember because I remember seeing it and thinking, really, like right at 16,000. And of course, they didn't re-sign him for the 52nd season in a row, the Jets.
Yeah.
So that's kind of understandably so. You got to make room for another running back to come in and go 2-15 on the season, but or 3-14. Just missed that number one pick again. So the Jets are pretty good at that, just missing the number one pick
Yeah.
every year. So if you look at it from that perspective, it's successful for the Jets. So life in general is just all about perspective. But going, I don't know, going back to Jake Paul. I mean, the highlight knockout itself, though, you forget about how boring of a fight it was. But and downright, I mean, the dudes. I mean, they fought hard, but they're just not. Tyron Woodley's not a boxer. He's a mixed martial artist.
It's like watching us go out and play basketball. Yeah, we're gonna play really hard, but ain't that good. It's like we're gonna be sweaty, tired. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be like 10-5 probably. I don't even know if I'd even score five. And that's probably gonna be the score after like 15 minutes. Like it's just not gonna be good, but we're gonna play our butts off.
I think I could
Probably
get more than five, but
no. Well, you had 10 in this scenario.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting the dub. I don't
We
know that
know
I'm
how it goes.
allowed.
Yeah, we know how it goes. We
Yeah,
yeah.
but I think I do respect what they're doing. I do respect that they're getting talked about, and I like that they're just owning what they are. Like
They're
I mean
making plenty of money doing it.
yeah, I mean they're not stupid. I mean
No.
they realize what they are, and I say they, and I'm including Logan Paul in this. They know how to market themselves. They know how to sell a fight, and they know I'm not gonna bite off more than I can chew, at least this early.
Yeah.
Um, but it's I respect what they're doing. They're finding what they're getting talked about, and even though Logan Paul lost the even though well there were no scorekeepers, but Mayweather won the fight. And you know that if you watch it, but it felt like also like a W for him because like this YouTube like Disney star kid just went the distance with maybe the best boxer ever. So arguably, so it's I respect what they're doing. I respect the passion they have for the sport and all that. I like that they know how to sell a fight, know how to sell themselves. They're good in front of the camera. Even the Polaroid camera Logan was rocking at ringside. I don't know they just do these little things that trip me out a little bit and are kind of cool to me. Like the Polaroid camera, he just comes he's taking pictures of him with that old school Polaroid. But I did see where he yesterday spent Logan Paul, that is, spent $3.5 million on a sealed and authenticated box of first edition Pokemon cards. Now I don't know how old Logan is. I assume he grew up around that time when
That better have been a
Pokemon cards
big
were
box.
I mean it was large. I mean it was a big sealed box, but yeah, 3.5 million, man, on that. Which is
Let's see, he's not even gonna open them.
I mean, would you? It kills the value. It's
He
like
could
the
probably now this dude could probably sell this crap. He could do the stupid unboxing stuff that people watch, and he could do a pay-per-view unboxing of these damn Pokemon cards, and he could probably make more than 3.5 million. I mean,
possibly, but I mean, this dude wore a chain of like,
and then he could sell them individually and just make more.
didn't he wear like I mean, wasn't his chain of like a $500,000 Pokemon card, like in his fight with Mayweather at Walking to the Ring? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Was it a card or just a Pokemon? I thought it was just a Pokemon.
Well, it was a Pokemon card, but it was, of course, like framed and all that, like you do the real valuable
Bedazzled
cards.
and stuff.
Not bedazzled, but just framed up real, nice. But
Yeah, I didn't see that.
oh yeah, I don't know how you could have missed it. I mean,
Not a surprise. I didn't see it. So
but yeah, it was like a $500,000, $250,000 valued card, a Pokemon card. I thought that was hilarious though. It's like, you see guys rocking these chains and he's rocking this that's more valuable than all of it. So I thought that was pretty cool actually and pretty dope. So I mean, my next question to that would be: are the Paul brothers, or at least Jake, and I include Logan in that too? Are these guys the Conor McGregor of boxing? At least as far as selling fights and knowing how to sell a fight.
they do know how to sell fights. I don't know if I call them the McGregor of boxing,
But
but because the fights
that's
aren't
what
that
I'm.
huge, like they're not sold out venues, right? They're just
They get a lot of pay-per-view buys,
well, yeah, pay per view, but
and that's really what matters. That's
Yeah,
what matters.
it does. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'd call them that.
Now I understand McGregor has fought, the best of the best, but and has has more times than not lost. When he's actually fought the best of the best.
I'll tell you this: I will consider them the McGregor of boxing as soon as Tom Brady starts coming to their events.
Okay, does Brady go
That,
to
that
McGregor's events or something?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's in big fights, McGregor usually. Um, When's the last time he won like a big one though? Like I'm seriously asking. I'm not like
I don't
trying
know,
to
it was
just bash Conor McGregor.
2 years ago, 2.5,
But who was
maybe.
it against? Like Nate Diaz or what?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it was against Nate Diaz. They stopped it because he got cut. Nate Diaz gets cut so easy now. But yeah, that was year and a half.
No, I think it went the distance, right?
Oh, I thought I got
Because I
stopped.
think they fought twice, and I think it went the distance. And yeah, McGregor just outpointed him because he did so well in the early rounds. But I
Yeah,
watched that fight, and I remember thinking if this goes, I thought Diaz was winning that fight. Like at the end of it, I could see why you would give it to McGregor just based on what he did those first 3 rounds. But if that went another round or two, Nate Diaz would have won that fight, I think. Just because Connor was gassed. But I mean, I think McGregor's overachieved. Well, I mean, of course he has. He's what the first multi-division champion. Just sold his Irish whiskey for brand for bukus of money.
have you tried any of that?
I have not. I have not. But
Me neither.
I like a good whiskey every now and then. But every now and then. But I mean they're both successes. I know McGregor would hate that comparison. And I don't mean as far as just full on ability. Conor McGregor's he was a former champion, multi division UFC elite of elite champion. Fights the best of the best. And that's the thing, like Conor may not win them all, but he's not worried. He's not scared. He doesn't think he's not going to. Nobody is more
No.
confident than he is entering that entering that octagon. But I just mean really as far as I of course not really. I of course mean as far as selling a fight goes, these two they're comparable. They know how to sell a fight and they know how to get people to tune in.
Oh yeah.
And I like and I know that they've taken shots at each other, but as far as boxing, it would be intriguing to see a Jake Paul Conor McGregor fight to me.
You think they get Tyson to fight him?
The Pauls?
Yeah. I might pay to see that one.
Now that would be I mean, that would be interesting. Gosh, I would still hate to get punched by Mike Tyson.
Oh, dude, I would hate
Uh,
it, but because the last one he was in was just an exhibition, like he wasn't going, you know, that all, fully, he wasn't going all out.
and he was fighting a Hall of Famer, Roy
Yeah,
Jones Jr. Like he wasn't I know it's not Roy Jones Jr. from the 90s, but
but
he's
I
fighting
think if he
Roy
got
Jones
to,
Jr.
I think if he got to fight one of the Paul brothers, he might, try and make an example.
Well, he was on their podcast I
He
mean a
likes what
while
they're
back at
doing,
this
though,
point.
right?
I mean I think you have to. I mean
I mean,
it's
people are talking
fun.
about boxing again, so it is a good thing, but it's not. It's not true boxing.
It's true boxing. I mean, they're in their boxing, but
I
it's
mean, they
not.
are, but it's not elite boxing.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not. You're right, but that was an elite knockout, though. I don't care
Yeah,
who you.
that
Like,
was.
that was a shot. Like so.
Night
Uh,
night. Freaking the
yeah. So
ringside view of that knockout, like where it's a little bit lower and you could just see all the freaking sweat and mist off of him off the blow.
well,
Yeah.
just Jake's tweet of it. I mean, he has people ringside taking video of it, and he of course tweeted that out. I mean, it's a thing of beauty, man. Um, I'd pin that thing, watch it on repeat for the rest of my life. So, um, I mean, I don't know, he should be proud. It was a heck of a knockout, but I don't know. Well, it'd be cool to see. It's either way. It's going to be interesting to see what's next for them. Jake is obviously kind of the one to watch.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't know as far as talking and selling goes. I mean, I gotta respect what Logan Paul
How did
does
they
too.
get? We've talked about this before. How did they get famous again?
They're like, oh, they're YouTubers, and like I think they're on like a Disney show. Yeah, like Bark or something. One or both of them. And they've capitalized on it. You know, like they
That
got
dang Disney, man.
it. Well, but yeah, I mean they capitalized on it. You know, they got big on YouTube. I mean, they got like Logan Paul has like 6.2 million Twitter followers or something. I mean, they have a following, you know, and so whatever they're doing something right. And that's my only thing. Like, I mean, you like we can rip on them, but man, they're doing something right, and it's interesting to watch. And like, I'm intrigued by it. Like, I want to see what happens next.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't mean to rip on them. Yeah, I'm not trying to rip on them.
I mean,
I'm
you
just.
can rip on them all you want, but my point is, like, we can sit here and rip them to shreds all day, but I guess my point is these guys hear that. Like, we're not the only people doing it. I feel like most people are doing it, but these dudes are embracing it. They're like the heel wrestler. You
Yeah,
know,
they know how to be the bad guy.
they loved, like, they have learned to love it, and
Mm,
they've just embraced it. Like the haters love me thing. They've embraced it and they're capitalizing on it. And that's what you got to do. I mean, if you own it, I can respect that, you
yeah,
know, and these guys are owning it and they're making bank doing it. So, I mean, I just I don't blame them for continuing with it. Why would you not? But we'll get back to something else on owning it here in a bit. But jumping ship, the NBA, jumping sports. But the NBA is allowing replacement players. I wrote on here replacing players, so that was the kind of morning it was for me. Uh, allowing replacement players for teams shorthanded because of COVID. I feel like that's an easy thing to do for the NBA just because your rosters aren't very deep anyway. Um, this is a dope hairline, by the way.
oh yeah, you like that?
Yeah. See, I got a fresh cut today. My girl
Yeah,
Amber.
I don't have fresh cuts, man. I got to do that before
Yeah.
Christmas so I can
Yeah, my
look
girl
good for
Amber
Santa
did this for
Claus.
me today over at Sport Clips in North Little Rock. Cleaned up the neckline and everything. So
You
shout
paid
out
for
to
that
Amber at Sport
haircut,
Clips. So what?
huh?
I didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
Said you paid for that haircut.
Yes, I did pay for it because I paid for it because I was one too busy and also too lazy to want to do it myself. I mean, here we are at 11 p.m. You know, uh, Tuesday night recording,
True.
and because yeah, I had to finish up some Christmas shopping. I was like, no, I want to. It was getting long. It was looking like yours. I was like, I got to get this chopped off, and I knew she would do a good job. Plus, they did. She does this like warm towel on my face thing and like massaging the scalp afterwards as they're washing it all out. Because it's a process cutting your cutting your hair, man. When you're a bald dude, I mean, you got to get the clippers out, do all that, um, sweep it up, take a shower. You can't just go lay down because then it's going to go on everything. It's not just like boom, you're done. I mean, it's a freaking process cutting your hair as a bald dude. And
So you
I
wait, you
didn't
want to
feel like
cut
it.
your hair and then just go lay down?
No, I do not. You're saying you do?
No, but you use that as a scenario.
I'm
I mean,
saying I feel like people that aren't a part of the bald community may think that. They're like, let's, you just can do it yourself. And it's like, yeah, I could, but I mean, it's
you
not just
could
like I go get some, I go get some scissors and just cut it up and then go, and then
scissor
that's
me
it.
timbers, man.
Yeah, something like that. We're not that kind of show, Brad.
What a haircut, Joe.
You know, we're a or yeah, something that belongs on the Pornhub. But anyway, NBA allowing replacement players for teams shorthanded by COVID. I feel like that would probably be easy to pull some dudes out of the, I don't know, wherever you get them from, the practice squad, D
The
League.
G League, man, they got a whole league of them.
Yeah, but it'd be pretty intriguing to see the NFL do this, though.
That would be, I think that would be injury city, man. Like
Well,
a
yeah,
bunch
but
of
I
people
mean,
who don't know the plays, or yeah,
well, yeah,
it'd be
but I
fun
mean,
though.
look at the, I mean, look at Cleveland right now. They
Hell,
essentially
they
have done
about
that.
won. Yeah, they
Yeah,
about won that game.
Cleveland essentially did that. I mean, if you really want to think about it, we hadn't heard this guy Shane Falco. Came out of they went and got him off of his boat and just put him in a Browns jersey, and he went out there and played pretty well. What was his actual name? Like Mullins or something?
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins. Yeah. I mean, dude made some good plays.
Yeah,
From the highlights I saw. But I was when was this game? Was it Monday?
yeah, it was like Monday. I think it kicked off at like
I was
three
gonna say
o'clock
I
in the
was at
afternoon.
work when it happened,
Yeah,
but so I didn't get to see the game. Like but yeah, a buddy of mine, he had tweeted out like something like all these games this early on a Monday, uh, may as well start drinking. I remember thinking, I was like, man, I wish I could had that kind of free time. But hey, shout out, you can do it. Sure, go for it. But
might
yes, it
as
would be
well.
injury. It would be injury city, but it would be kind of cool to watch. I mean, the when they did it back in the whatever early '90s, I mean, they made a whole 30 for 30 about it. With the Redskins, like the year they won it
Yeah,
all. What was that called? I can't remember the name of it, but that was pretty interesting. And they just recently got like their rings, by the way. I don't know that. I mean, you can make an argument for or against them. I think getting those, but yeah, they just recently got some championship rings from that season for it.
hmm. Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose, but we'll take this second to once again give our shout out to sponsor Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. How it works is you pick a race, you sign up for it at rhinoraces.com, register, run it anytime, anywhere of your choosing. You can even do it on a treadmill, track it with your fitness device. That's the only thing you got to do. Track your run with your fitness device or app. Submit results on the submit results page at rhinoraces.com. Once your results are verified, Rhino Races by Rhino Races staff, you will be shipped your award, whether it be a medal or a custom made trophy style belt buckle, with it or by mail as soon as your proof of completion is verified. And so no waiting for no waiting months for race day. You earn it just whenever you choose. Visit rhinoraces.com, sign up today. And yeah, I would normally have some merch to show you from them, but we'll get to that next week. But yeah, it'll be we'll have some cool stuff to show everybody next week via YouTube, and we'll describe it as only we can. For those listening to us on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. But as far as the Pauls owning what they do, did you get a glimpse of what one of the elite marathon runners did? Did you catch any news of that just on your basic news feed on your browser?
I did not. No.
Well, elite marathon runner Addie, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so I'm sorry, Addie, for butchering this because, of course, I know you're listening. Zariner, maybe.
It's probably Zerner.
Yeah, maybe. Without the question mark that I decided to throw in there on it. But Addie had quite a performance at the California International Marathon on December 5th. How this information, me being a marathon runner, how I'm surprised it took me this long to see it, but Addie had a bit of a, we'll just call it a shit show during her race. She is an elite runner, I believe, an Olympic qualifier as far as qualifying time goes. But she uh, pooped her shorts 3 times during this race. The first of which came at mile 7. She said that she felt the urge because she didn't want to take the time to stop and use a porta potty because that would kill her time. So she just said, "I'm just going to let it go," and she just didn't realize it was going to be that much. So she she did it the first at mile 7, which, by the way, she finished this particular marathon in 2 hours 42 minutes and 49 seconds, which was good for 30th out of 3,133 women. But she did it 3 different times during the race, and there's some, and like she's got photos of it, like of her, and she just like looks miserable as she's approaching the finish. There are photos of it, and it's kind of funny because it looks like brown KT tape. Like it's perfectly like kind of loops like the same way, like around her shin and stuff. But it's very brown and it's very or a bit graphic. I work in healthcare during the day, so it's just another day for me. But yeah, some quotes from her after the race. "This was my proudest finish ever," she said. When the first poo urge struck at mile 7, another quote from her said, "I was like, okay, just let it come. I didn't know it was going to be so much." But my favorite quote from her, and this should be like how Notre Dame has like
Hey,
well,
like a champion today.
yes, how they have
There
that.
should, there should be poop like a champion.
Well, no, hers was this is hers right here, my favorite one. "I'm not going to drop out with shit all over me. I'm going to finish with shit all over me." And if that's not fact, or I mean, think about it. I mean, she's right. She's spot
Yeah.
on. But I just that's I don't know. But she's gotten a lot of love on social media though, for myself included. But yeah, I was even like, wow, you own it. I was like, this gal is owning it. And she like reposted it to her Instagram story. So I thought that was pretty dope. But anyway, like that's a great quote. I don't care who you are. That last one. I'm not going to drop out with shit all over me. I'm going to finish with shit all over me. And that's just freaking cool. And like she owned it. She's got it all over her Instagram. Like a sub 3 hour marathon, like by a lot, which is so hard to do. Um, but yeah, respect, Queen. Here's to you. Cheers. So Addie, do your thing, but do like I do in the future, just in case. Pop 2 Imodium before the race.
Is that the secret?
That's what I do because I do have those issues. Like I do not eat the morning of a race. I don't care how long it is. I don't drink anything but water or Gatorade. And yeah, and I pop 2 Imodium just in case because that's the last thing I want to do out there.
Yeah.
So I may not go for like 2 days after, but it's better than like having to do it during, at least to
Yeah.
me, because I've done it plenty during. And I've got some interesting stories of people next to me, like at a porta potty, just hearing the things that
Oh, so you at least like stopped.
Oh yeah, it's never happened to me. Like now, there was one time in particular it was close, um, and it was at the Hog Eye. It was at the Hog Eye half. This is back when it was in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where Bradley and I both graduated college. I was like a mile from the next porta potty, and it like I was cramping hard, like in the stomach, like it was bad. Like
Them bubble guts.
I thought a couple of yes, I thought a couple of times about like I would look over and just see like trees and stuff like going down that bike trail, and I'm thinking, man, I could just like veer off real quick and just like let it go, and then just pull them up and keep coming. But then I thought how much, and this is pretty graphic, folks, but I thought about how much it would like rub and chafe, like until I got to the next stop to like clean myself up and all that. And not to mention, I have to have that all over me the rest of the
That's
day. But, um,
that's
but I
all I could
did,
think about the Addie chick, but she's probably too thin. It don't matter. There's
yeah,
no
well,
chafing.
yeah. I mean, well, when you're that elite, it's, yeah, but I mean that's amazing to me. She did it 3 times, and it was just like, yeah, it's.
I mean, hell, after the first one, you got nothing to lose, right?
I mean, I suppose. I mean, except more feces, But yeah, that's pretty wild. But when I saw that porta potty, like when I saw it in my sights, when I was about to lose it, it was like it was like better than seeing the finish line. Like when you see the finish line, you get like super excited. You get this feeling come over you, and it's you just get this extra juice, uh, adrenaline juice, not poo
Extra
juice,
juice.
but but not. But when I saw that porta
Well,
potty, yeah, it was like it was better than seeing the finish line. But that was 2013, I think it was. I think it was my first ever half actually. So I've done
hmm.
16 since then. So
16 poo since then. That's not healthy.
I've done a lot more than that. But yeah. So yeah, shout out to Addie.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's a cool story. It's even cooler that she's just owned it. And yeah, I gave her a follow on Instagram and everything. I was like, no, that's amazing. Like respect. But because it happens. People that do that, like if you do enough of them, it's gonna happen. Maybe not to that extent. Like I'm gonna stop at a porta potty. Like she made the choice of no, I'm gonna kill my time if I stop. I'm just gonna let it go. And she did. She just did it while running. So
Yes, yeah. Seems like she could have still had the sub 3 hour time. But
yeah. And now if you had to stop 3 times like she did, maybe not, you know. But then again,
man, 18
some
minutes,
people are real
man.
fast.
That's
Some people are real fast about it. I'm like an old man. Like I need like 30 minutes. Like I need to like, collect myself. I consider
yeah.
that a rest period too. Not like during a race. During a race, I'm like, 10 minutes tops. But no, like yeah, if I'm just doing it, yeah, I need to get 30 minutes set aside for sure. My phone, my modern day newspaper. Is this going in a direction like people want it to, or who cares, right? Does that ever happen to you on the golf course?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you do? So what
Just
do you
trying to make it to the turn. You're trying to make it past hole 9 so you can at least like have make it back to the clubhouse, or some of the nicer courses they'll have uh a bathroom like somewhere on like hole 12 or hole 7, somewhere in the middle point of between the turn. But yeah, I've had it, making an approach shot, just squirming like, holy crap, just get close. So if somebody can kick it in, I can run to the bathroom. Like, yeah, it's fun that way.
Yeah, I would think. See, that's the thing about just being well, I mean, I guess you could always like, okay, like I can't hold anymore, guys. I got to go. But you can't really play like catch up with the crew, right? Yeah, it's
No.
just you got to go meet them at the next one or whatever. I
Yeah. Tell
guess.
them you'll take the worst score.
Yeah, just like give me the
Yeah.
worst. Yeah, but anyway, we'll get back to we'll get back to
Well,
sports. How about
yeah.
that? Just that doesn't involve uh
Food.
fecal subjects. But um going back to the NFL, the Bucks get shut out by the Saints on Sunday. I don't know how much of that game you caught, but it was about like at least as far as the Bucks offensive performance goes, it was about like Addie's draws were at the end of her
Dude,
California
I,
International Marathon.
I watched the whole game, man, and it was just dang, injury after injury, man. You could just like watch the Buck season slipping away like, as the game went on.
Yeah.
But I mean, those were some key losses. I mean, what who all went out? I mean,
Chris
Godwin, he's
Godwin
out for
is
the
now out for
season.
the year with a torn
Fournette,
ACL. Yeah.
Fournette, is he out for the season? I heard they just signed Bell.
I don't know. I didn't even. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an update on that as far as
And
Fournette goes. That'd be another big loss for them because he's turned
then
into.
Evans, hopefully they get him back before the by the playoffs.
Yeah, it's I don't
But
know. Injuries will do that, man. But what are your thoughts on? I mean, I think I thought Tom had a pretty good like argument as far as that needs to be a rule change.
dude, it was every tackle, man.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, but
every hit.
you see it all the time. I mean, we saw Gronk lose a season from it.
Yeah,
You know, just when he was with the Patriots, and they're ugly hit. I mean, they're so nasty. Just
yeah.
coming in full speed, just straight for the knee, and it's not going to do good things. I know that we're trying to take concussions out of the game and all that, but and you think about it, that's the only spot on the field where it's legal to hit somebody there. Uh, being a lineman, you can't do that.
No.
You can't hit somebody there. You can't tackle a quarterback at the knees now from when Brady he tore his ACL the season after they went 18-1. It makes sense. I mean, guys are you're. I mean, they made those rule changes to protect the quarterbacks and to protect the star players because you don't want to hurt the league. You don't want to hurt viewership. You don't want to hurt ticket sales and all that. This shouldn't be any different. Now I can, just being a defensive player when I played, I can understand that, and we played in a different era, where all this stuff was legal. You could hit high, you could
Yeah.
hit what's considered late now. All that was fair game. Horse collaring, like that was the thing when I put on some film to show my youngest brother, Ben, um, our quarterback, got tackled via horse collar in a game we played after like a 40-yard gain. And Ben was like, "Hey, that's a horse collar, horse collar." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was legal back then." It didn't become it did not become illegal until Roy Williams hurt Terrell Owens that
Yeah.
playoff. But Roy Williams made a career out of tackling people like that. The safety for the Cowboys, not the former Detroit wide receiver. But yeah, so I can understand why that needed to be stopped because he was tackling dudes like that every play, and it was just a matter of time before somebody got hurt. And it
Yeah.
just so
And just
happened
almost
those.
purposely sitting on their feet whenever he did it too.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I can understand why you need to take that out, but yeah, I mean this too though, and I defensive players are saying, okay, where is it okay for me to tackle you? But
yeah.
it's I don't know, it's weird. Like I think both sides you need to get input from both sides and decide what to do. But I do think those low hits to the knees purposely going for their knees. Pardon me, I didn't hit my mute button on the thing, but so we got a little cough there. But I mean, these secondary players aren't trying to hurt these guys going for the knees, but they are. They don't want to
Yeah.
get
Hopefully they're
fined.
not trying to hurt them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not, generally speaking, but I mean, they're not going high because they don't want to get fined or suspended. So I mean, I can
Yeah.
understand that, where they're coming from with that. But you ask any offensive player, they're gonna say, "No, I would, like, hit me high. Like, I don't want to miss. I may miss the rest of the game. I don't want to miss the season.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing now. I don't want to worry. I'll worry about it in 40 years. Not the rest of the year when you take out my knee or blow my knee out." But I thought Tom made some good points. Um, at the same time, I think you got to listen to the defensive people too. Nice mute button. I think you got to listen to that side too, just because they've already made it difficult to play defense in the National Football League, or just in today's game. They're making it more and more offensive friendly. But at the same time, I think you can come up with a way to take down somebody without injuring them. And because that's all it's going to do. This stuff's going to continue to happen unless something is done about it. So I think a good solution would be, hey, let's get rid of this, but let's make some things clear as far as how we handle this and where it's okay to hit, what's an actual penalty, and what's not just necessarily a judgment call. So anyway, moving on. Oh well, what do we think of Tom going and yelling at the Saints players or the Saints sideline, basically, as all this went down? I mean, that's Brady, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I didn't see him doing that.
I didn't see him do it either, but I mean, I saw a little bit of the highlights, but it's very Tom Brady when things aren't going well. But it's kind of what people that like him like about him, and
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that like him. So I mean, he's just a fiery dude, man, competitive as it gets. But well, I would say that's partially part of partially why AB is going to remain with the team after his 3-game absence because of a fraudulent COVID vaccine card. Um, yeah, I mean, who else are they going to put out there?
Yeah. They need him right now.
Yeah, um, yeah. I mean, that's besides AB, who else is it going to be, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, we can't hear you shaking your head,
Gronk,
Brad.
like at
Cameron Brate, and
least Gronk's healthy, right?
as far as I know, are as healthy as you can be this time of year. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see if they can get it together. So, what in the world has happened to the Arizona Cardinals? Two
What in the
straight
world?
losses. Now, the first of which was to pretty decent Rams team, but the most recent of which happened Sunday, a 30-12 loss to the Detroit Lions, and wasn't close the whole game. That's 2 in a row. What's happened to Arizona? What's happened to Kyler? I mean, what's happened to that team?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get to watch any of that game. I was having Christmas at grandma's. Uh but I looked on my phone and the headline was, Arizona loses to Detroit. And I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe Detroit won on the last second field goal or touchdown or something. No, and then I looked at the score and I was like, what the yeah.
No,
What I don't
it
know
was
what
like
happened, man.
27-7 or 27-3 at one point. Like it was I think it was 24-3 at one point.
But
It was
Hopkins was out,
all
right?
lines.
So
Hopkins is
they're
out for the rest of the year. Yeah.
real. Oh yeah, they.
At least the rest of the regular season. I think they shut him down for the rest of the regular season.
So it was just Kyler just throwing picks, or
I didn't see any of the games just because it wasn't on any local broadcasting. But um, either way, I mean, you lost handily to the Detroit Lions. You know,
yeah.
you lost by 3 scores, three scores to the worst team in football. I don't know. It's them or the Jags. I mean, they're right up there.
Well, now it's the Jags for sure, but
Yeah.
they're getting that number one pick.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, say what you want about Detroit's coach. I can't remember the guy's name, but I mean, they play hard. They play for
Yeah,
him. So I mean, you got to give them that. Um, but yeah, that was pretty surprising to say the least. And I don't know. We'll see if they can get it together. But I mean, injuries are going to do that, man. You lose and I don't know if I'd say he was their top target at this point. I mean, what? I mean, that's the thing. They kind of got playmakers. Just Christian Kirk is like their third option. You know.
yeah. I mean, he stepped in and did pretty good. I mean, he lit it up on my bench. Uh, just like he always does. But who
Yeah.
was? I mean, I wasn't going to start him anyways. Like,
Well, I
yeah,
remember Christian Kirk from getting a billion fantasy points every time he played Arkansas while he was at Texas
yeah. I
A&M.
was fixing. I just remember him killing us
Yeah,
every
for
time he
like
played against us.
for like 8 seasons, it felt like. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
when is this dude going to graduate, man? Like,
Yep.
I'm tired of seeing this dude just
Just
lighting
killing
us up, man. It got old. It's like, dude, go to the NFL. Like, leave. Like,
it. Yeah.
go.
They have
Get out of here.
two game winning touchdowns.
200, it felt like.
Yeah.
But anyway, 2 straight losses for Arizona. Packers are solely in first place now. And as far as the conference goes, but
I think they'll get it together, man. I think it might have just been like the bad day at the office kind of deal, like we talked about a couple of weeks back.
they're going to have to get healthy if they're going to do that. But I mean, they got some nice players. I like Kyler as far as a player, at least. He's he's not the most well talked about guy as far as a leader, but I don't know. I'm not there. But there's probably some truth to that report. So that's why they have them. But we'll see if they can get it together. They need to get Hop right, and then hopefully everybody else can get right. But I like watching them as a team when they're
Yeah.
playing well. But that's a bad loss. But one team that has gotten it together, Kansas City, they won their seventh straight. 7 straight now for Kansas City. Looks like they are in sole possession of first place out of the AFC. So that's a pretty intriguing. If that actually happened, Packers Chiefs in a Super Bowl, man, that would be quite a highly rated Super Bowl, I would
Oh
think.
yeah, that'd be sweet.
Like that, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Two surefire Hall of Famers at quarterback going at it. But I don't know about two surefire Hall of Famers, but two surefire Hall of Fame. I don't know, just probably cool dudes. The Dailies, John Daly and his son. I don't know his son's name, but
John
uh,
Daly. It's Junior. John Daly the second.
we'll just go John and Junior then. All right, Double J taking the PNC championship belts. What do you think of those little championship belts they got after? Is that just a new is that a new thing in golf? I assume like a one time only thing. Let's
That's the
see how this
first
goes.
time I've seen them. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a new thing or not. I mean, for all I know, it's a tradition that dates back 100 years. But,
What look
but yeah,
championship belts
it
that
probably
are a
just got
little
added
bigger
this
than a
year.
normal belt?
Yeah, I thought they could be a little bit bigger, but
Probably could be a little bit bigger. They just look kind of cute the size that they were.
yeah,
Like they don't have to be over the top like what you see, you know, wrestling. But
yeah.
they could have been a little bit bigger. Still pretty cool though. I still would have wanted
Hey,
one.
it was actually good golf, man. I mean, you had Tiger and his son Charlie playing, and Justin Thomas and his dad. I mean, it was pretty close there. It was pretty good golf. Pretty good, pretty fun to watch.
I'm sure it was good
Uh,
golf. You're naming off all these great golfers out there golfing. I'm like, yeah, it was actually pretty good golf, I would think.
but yeah, it's always nice to to see someone representing Arkansas out there winning the thing. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
every day you seen there was somebody wearing Arkansas. I think on Saturday they were both wearing their Razorback pants and uh, Razorback shirts.
Yeah, that's dope. Woo pig. Bye bye.
Oh yeah,
But anyway, that's pretty cool to see that happening. What is PNC? What does that stand for?
professional. I don't know.
Professional. Yeah, I'm not even gonna take a stab at it. Sponsor maybe. I don't know. But
Don't know.
anyway, so you were going over some scores that we had tonight. Lakers got beat by the Suns by like 18, you said?
18. I think it's like 108 to 90 or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, and I
Alabama
think
got
who
Alabama basketball got upset by Davidson.
yeah, yeah, Steph was pretty pumped up on that one.
I'm
Uh
sure.
let's see. I think the
Of course, our
who
Razorbacks
else
got
played tonight?
beat by Hofstra over the weekend in Little Rock.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, we don't want to. That's all I'm going to say about it.
They won tonight
They
though
won
against
tonight against Elon Musk's
yeah, he started his own
school.
university. And the Rams and Eagles, they both won their games tonight.
And who was it the Eagles played? Who was it they both played?
Uh Eagles beat Washington and the Rams beat the Seahawks.
Okay, so nothing, no big time matchups tonight while we were shooting this podcast. Otherwise, we would have been watching that just like you fine folks. But so those are some scores from this evening. Although the Christmas Day game previews look pretty cool from, um,
Hopefully they still have them. So
yeah, hopefully. But as far as I mean, in the NFL, it's Browns at Packers, Indy at Arizona. I mean, yeah, it's football. I'll watch it. But
yep.
the NBA always has some big games, and it's no different this year, assuming we have them. Nets are at Lakers at 7 p.m. Christmas Day. That's Central Standard Time, as all these times are. But the big one to me is the one before that, which is Warriors at Suns at 4 p.m.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, that should be fun.
that's going to be a lot of fun. Should be anyway. I'll take the Warriors in that, but it's gonna be fun to watch. But we'll uh we'll end this with, since it is our Christmas episode, as you folks can see with my lovely outfit. Um, we'll talk about personally mine, Graham Zachary Powell, and Bradley D Money Brown's favorite Christmas in our lifetimes. So Brad, go first. What was your favorite Christmas?
Man, it was probably whenever I was 5. Ghostbusters was freaking huge at the time, and I remember
Freaking
getting
huge.
freaking huge. And I remember getting like the full setup. I had the backpack, the with the gun on it, the proton pack, and then I got the car and a couple of action figures to go in it. Dude, super pumped. And I also got the ghost trap that you could like stomp on the pedal and the doors open. Freaking sweet, man.
I actually
Loved it.
got that too. I got that exact same thing. I don't remember when I got it. I don't think it was for Christmas. I can't. Yeah, but I
Oh, you
had all
probably
that
got it for
too.
your birthday. You had one of them fall birthdays.
Yeah,
So
possibly. There's a no. I have like a portrait, like my mom or somebody had portraits of me in that outfit. Like
Oh
it,
yeah, I got a jumpsuit too, like a tan
yeah,
jumpsuit.
yeah. And I have this real corny smile, and they made me turn my head a weird way. Like the guy
Oh,
made me do my prom pictures, or no, my graduation picture. Made me look
dude,
so dumb.
somewhere I know there's a picture of me in like full like get up, and I'm like holding my gun posing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
it
I'll
was in
definitely
my
have to find that
it
one.
was in my grandma Jules' house forever. Who knows what happened to it? I'm sure it's long since been gotten rid of, fortunately. But because I don't want to see it, mine. I can't tell you my age. I can tell you my age range. I had to be probably around 9 years old or so. Yeah, that's probably it. Probably about 8 or 9 years old. It was when I was living on Fairview Street in Lone Oak in the red brick house, and I got a Sega Genesis for Christmas, along with my first CD player. And
Dang, you got a CD player that early?
I got a CD
Dang.
player and a Sega Genesis same morning. Yeah. I walked out in the living room, and there it was from Santa Claus. Yeah, CD player and Sega Genesis with all the cool, with everything I wanted, music wise and game wise. Mortal Kombat, Sonic Hedgehog 2. Um, I was into country music back then, so I got a lot of country music stuff, which is kind of funny because I can't stand country music now, but I loved it back then. So yeah, it was yeah, I had a Dwight Yoakam CD,
Sweet.
A Clint Black CD, John Anderson. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that. I don't. Uh, yeah, but
You remember the Garth Brooks greatest hit CD? It was like his face with like the American flag
yes, I
painted
do.
on it.
I do
Yeah, I got that for Christmas one year. That was awesome.
I was never a Garth Brooks fan.
I
Even when I liked country, I never liked Garth Brooks.
I wasn't until I got that CD. It's like, oh, okay, Santa thinks I should listen to Garth Brooks, so I guess I'm gonna listen to Garth Brooks.
But yeah, that was a very memorable like Christmas, just because I mean I got everything I wanted, but um yeah, like I remember like that whole kind of break too, like the Christmas break. I think I like that's the first time I remember watching the movie Scrooged, like with Bill Murray,
Oh yeah.
and I just remember being like, "Oh, this is dope. Like, this is a like it's funny," and not like the typical happy-go-lucky Christmas movies I was used to seeing. I'm a little kid, and I'm thinking, oh, I was sitting there watching it with my dad, of
Mm,
course, but anyway, that was definitely my favorite Christmas. Hands down, always will be. Um, like assuming I don't get kids or something and do the let's watch them, how dads are or parents.
yeah.
Uh, good- Nothing like
Maybe
having,
one day.
yeah,
I haven't
maybe.
ruled it out.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But if and when. But okay, as far as Christmas movies go, what's our favorite Christmas movie? What's the best one? What's our favorite, at least in our perspective? I
Dude. Uh, man, I don't know. I don't know. Me be Home Alone or Elf.
Yeah, it'd probably be the same for me. I'm gonna go with Elf. If I
No.
have to pick one, but there's several up there. Yeah, Elf is probably number one for me. Home Alone's definitely up there. It's definitely top three.
Like I
Uh,
remember thinking like whenever I watched Home Alone, like it was a big deal, like because it finally came to video and I'd been hearing so much about this movie. Yeah.
yeah, I
So
saw
yeah,
Home Alone 2 in theaters.
dang.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a big deal. Scrooged is in my top 5. I don't know if it's just that I don't think it's necessarily top 5 as far as quality, but it's just a nostalgia thing for me. But if I'm that's not the question. It's what's my favorite Christmas movie? I'm gonna go with Elf. And so are we a side and so are you a cider or hot cocoa person
High
on Christmas?
cocoa.
See, I had
Yeah.
the choice. I was given the choice on when I was younger I would have said hot cocoa. But at the Christmas party Friday at work, we went in and got our gift from the company and it's like, here you want some and they tried to like give me all this food and I was like, I don't need that. And they were like kind of offended, like, wait, why don't you want any?
You want to take our food?
It's like, no, I just don't want any food. I don't want any of your food. But it was popcorn. It's like I ate like an hour ago. So I was like, I'm not hungry. I was like, yeah, let me get some of that cider. Like I had the cider cocoa choice. I went with the cider. So I'm thinking, and I've done that the last several times, the last several, holiday seasons that I've had the option because you always have the option cider or cocoa or wassail. Wassail is often said around here.
Never heard
Well, my mom says it,
it.
so
Yeah.
it
It
must
sounds
be
like something
true.
Margie would say.
Yeah. Um,
Want a glass of wassail?
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
Can't hear you.
it's pretty spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like how the closet door is open there, and I mean, I just want I'm waiting for a head to pop out or just see some eyeballs or something.
Man.
It even has a creepy sound as it closes. But this isn't the Halloween episode. But I'm Team Cider now. So, but all right, ladies and gentlemen, that didn't go as
Merry
well as I thought it
Christmas.
would. I thought it
Happy
would spread out
holidays.
more. And but yes, happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. It's late here. We're out. Episode 11, Shoe Booty Sports. 12
Bowl
be coming
season
at you.
is upon us.
Yes, double digits now. Episode Deuce, episode Tom Brady, episode Aaron Rodgers will be out next week. Till then,
Yeah.
deuces.
See you.
She.